Yeah, fine guys. In the last session, we understood what is code review and why we need to go for code review and how to perform code review. So can you please tell me what is code review and why we need to go for code review? Right. Code review is the process of identifying developers' mistakes. So to identify the developers' mistakes in the project, we are going to perform code review. To perform that code review, there are two ways available. One is by using tool and the second one is by using peer review. What is the meaning of a peer review? Senior members are going to check the code done by the junior developers. They will verify the logic is correct or not. Okay. What is the tool review? There is a tool called Sonar Cube. By using that Sonar Cube, we can perform the code review. Perfect. What kind of issues Sonar Cube will identify in our project? Sonar Cube will identify the bugs. Then it will identify vulnerabilities. It will identify code smells. It will identify duplicated code blocks and it can identify code coverage also. It is going to identify code coverage as well. It will identify bugs available in the code. It will identify vulnerabilities available in the code smells available, duplicated code. If you are writing same code at multiple places, SonarQube will identify is there any duplicate code blocks available and it will check for code coverage. So SonarQube will check for the logic in the program or will not check for the logic in the program. SonarQube will not check for logic in the program. It will check the syntaxes and it will check the best practices. We have downloaded and run the SonarQube in our local. By default, SonarQube is going to run with the port number 9000. We downloaded that as a zip file and we executed that sonar servers.bat file. When you run sonar server, start sonar.bat, sonar server will run in the Windows and it will run on the port number 9000. Once it is done, how to integrate our boot application with the sonar? There is a plugin available. We need to add the plugin in the pom.xml. Then we will go for Maven build up the project. Then to perform code review by using this sonar plugin, we have a goal called sonar sonar. What is the purpose of clean package goal? What is the purpose of clean package goal? It is used to compile and package our application. Once the latest code is compiled, then I want to review that code. To review that code, I am going for sonar. Once you do this goal execution, sonar, in the sonar dashboard, we can see the report of our project. How many issues are available? How many bugs are available? How many code smells are available? Duplicated code blocks and all that information we can identify. We learned several things after doing the code review. What is this, guys? Whatever the string we are comparing, always that string should be present at the left side. What is the problem with this code? If account status is null value, I'm trying to get the record from the database. In that record, account status is a null value. Null dot equals null pointer exception. But if I go for this approach, lock dot equals to null value, that condition will not satisfy. This is bad practice and this is good practice. And we discussed about buffer and builder. What is the difference between buffer and builder? What is the difference between buffer and builder? Buffer is synchronized, only one thread can access. If you use the buffer in the web application, what is the problem? Performance will be affected. When one user accessing that method, other user thread cannot access that method. Wherever you want to modify the strings, instead of the buffer, we need to go for builder. Replace buffer with builder to improve the performance. That is one mistake we have done and we corrected that mistake. And next one. What is the next one, guys? Either log or rethrow the exception. As of now, we are handling the exceptions by using try catch block. In the catch block, we are writing e.print stack trace. What is the purpose of print stack trace? What is the purpose of print stack trace? It will print exception details on the console. It will print exception details on the console. Now, I want to go for this. That is, whenever exception occurred, I want to log that exception. Okay. Next one, this we did not use in our project. Leave that. What about this one, guys? Right. When we are declaring the variables, naming conventions also very important. So don't write uppercase for the variable name. It is a code smell. Okay. So we need to write the camel case format, and don't declare variable with a password or PWD directly. That is comes under vulnerability. We need to change that. Declare variables before constructor. Okay. Then next one, unused curly braces. Follow camel case for variable names. Declare private constructor for the class if it is not getting instantiated anywhere. Whatever the classes you are creating, for all the classes we are not going to create the objects. If you are not creating object for your classes, then make your class as a private constructor class. What is the meaning of making the class as a private constructor? Nobody can create the object for that class from outside. Okay, good. So are you guys able to perform the code review? Right? Right. I want you people to perform code review for all the 3 mini projects so that you will realize what are the mistakes that you are doing in the coding. What are the best practices that you are not following in the code, you can understand by doing that code review. How many of you completed for all the 3 projects? Only one. Why it is taking that much time? Clean package nahi ho raha hai. That is a Maven goal. Why clean package not happening? It should happen. Basically, if it is not working from IDE, go to your project directory. So from the command prompt, suppose this is my project. You can go to command prompt. From here, you can do the clean package, na? MVN clean package. If it is not happening from the project, then you should be able to do it from the CMD. Go to the project directory. Go to your project directory. Open the CMD. From the CMD, you can perform Maven goal execution. Yesterday, I have done that process from the CMD only. I have done the clean package and sonar goal I have executed from here only. I want you people to do that. Okay, good. By today at least, please try to complete the code review for all the 3 projects, guys. That is important. If you complete that code review, then you will get more maturity while writing the code. What are the mistakes you have done? Those mistakes we should not repeat for next time. Okay, good. So today, let me develop one simple REST API, guys. File, new, starter project. Let me go for one simple REST API creation, Spring Boot REST API. Fine. Next, I want to go for dev tools and I want to go for web starter, Lombok if required. Okay. What is the purpose of web starter? It will give embedded server. I can develop web applications and I can develop RESTful applications also. And a Lombok for setters and getters. And I have dev tools that is used to reload the server. Next and finish. So with this, I created one simple REST application. Let me create one simple REST controller. Project is getting created. Go to pom.xml. Go to pom.xml. In this pom.xml, we have web starter, dev tools available, and Lombok is also available. Okay. So start class is there, application.java. This is the entry point for boot application. And let me create one REST controller. And guys, still I'm observing many people are not able to create packages properly. People are coming to me saying that my application is not working. When I look at that, their package naming conventions are not correct. they are not following base package naming convention in the Spring Boot. So in this project, in.Ashok IT is a base package. When I'm creating a REST controller, that package name should be there. .rest I am going to provide. So whatever the packages you are creating, they should follow some base package naming convention. Yesterday I have seen 2 people came with the same mistake. Almost 2 months completed. Still you are not able to understand what is the package naming convention. They're saying that my application is not working. First of all, your REST controller class not participated in the component scanning. What is the component scanning? What is component scanning? It is the process of identifying Spring Bean classes that are available in the project. So it will consider this start class package as a base package in .Ashok IT. It will search for the packages which are starting with the same name. If you go to this class, what is the package name? In.Ashok IT.rest package is available. So here, if this package name is matching, then only this class will participate in the component scanning. Otherwise, it will not participate. Let me go for REST controller. I created one class. Now, let me go for public, some string get welcome message. Get welcome message. Now, if I am writing string message is equal to some welcome to Ashok IT. Welcome to Ashok IT. Something like this I'm writing. Then I'm going to return this message. Now, what is the problem here? Okay, I will write the mapping. @ get mapping / welcome. It is going to return the direct response. You need to think like a sonar cube. I'm declaring a string. I'm storing in the variable. I'm returning that. If I go for sonar cube, what it will tell? Why are you storing that into a variable unnecessarily? Because you are not doing any operation on the variable. You are directly returning that variable. Instead of writing 2 lines, can I go for single line? Can I go for single line? Yes. So these are the best practices that we need to follow. So if you do the code review, you will understand what mistake you are doing. Next time, you should not repeat that mistake. Next time, you should not repeat that mistake. Okay, good. And Manikanta, where is that guy? Manikanta, okay. Guys, I have taken attendance for month of April. In the April month, total 25 classes happened for the JRTP. 25 out of 25 present. Sheshavali, stand up. Did you miss any class? Congratulations, clap. He got the full attendance for the month of April. I will see who is having the least attendance also. The person who is having the least attendance, for that person, I will take an interview today at 2 o'clock. That is a face-to-face interview. I want you to get your resume, come to my cabin. I will take your face-to-face interview. I will record that in the camera. I will upload in the YouTube. You got my point. Yesterday I have seen. I have taken one interview for a lady. How many of you gone through that video? What you understood? How freshers will answer those questions, right? So today from this week onwards, as I told you, I will be taking the mock interviews for the people. That depends upon your attendance. Who is having the least attendance, they will get the first priority for the interview. Who is having the least attendance, they will get the first priority for the interview. Every day I will take 2 interviews. If I don't have my office meeting, I will come here, I will take the face-to-face interview. If I have my office meeting, I will take online Zoom interview. Night 9:30 also I can take the interview. 9:30 at 10 o'clock. Interview will be 30 to 40 minutes of time. I want to evaluate your performance, mock interviews, so that you will understand what kind of, because I have seen last time, when the interviews happen, people are shivering. They have that fear to attend the interview because it might be your first interview. So if you attend such kind of mock interviews, then you will understand how to explain that answer in the interview. Sometimes you know the answer for the question, but you are not able to express that answer. Getting my point? Yes, good. Sit down. The every mock interview that I am going to take, we will edit that video and we will upload that video in the YouTube also. That will help for our future students as well. How interviews will be conducted, what kind of questions I'm going to ask. In that interview, question not only theoretical, programmatic questions also will be available. So for this week, I have another 2-3 days of time, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I have another 4 days of time. I want to complete at least 8 interviews in these 4 days of time. Daily 2 interviews. The people who are having least attendance, those 8 people I will pick up. I will take your interviews now. Okay? Today also we have the interview. I will give the names who is having the least attendance. Good. Fine. So here I have created one REST controller, guys. Observe carefully. I have created one REST controller. In this REST controller, I'm writing one method. That method is having a message called welcome to Ashok IT. Similarly, I'm having one more method, public string get greet message. Public string get greet message. Let me take string message is equal to good morning. Good morning message available. Return message. Okay. So here I am having @get mapping. This one I am mapping to /greet URL pattern. Okay. Now this application is good. Let me refresh and run as boot application. I'm running this project. Let me go to browser. Let me check that. Is it working or not? Localhost :8080/welcome. Localhost :8080/welcome. Am I able to access my method? Yes, I'm able to access my method. Now go here. Localhost :8080/greet is available. I'm getting good morning. But here, the problem is, guys, whatever the message is available, I have hard-coded my message in the Java class. Okay. Today, it is welcome to Ashok IT and good morning. After few days, I want to change this message. I want to change this message. As of now, we are developing our application and we are writing some code. We are testing that code by running in the local system. But tomorrow in the industry, what is going to happen? As a developer, you will write that code and you will keep your code into GitHub repository. Whatever the code you are writing, you will write that code and you will keep that code in the GitHub repository. So as a developer, you will communicate with the GitHub to store your code into GitHub repository. After the code is committed to GitHub repository, then operations team comes into picture. Operations team will use a software called Jenkins software, and they will take your code from the GitHub. They will do the code build. Like here, Jenkins will come into picture. What this Jenkins is going to do? Jenkins is going to communicate with the Maven. Jenkins is going to communicate with the SonarQube. Jenkins will communicate with the Docker. Then Jenkins will communicate with the Kubernetes in order to deploy our application. That is build and deployment process. Maven. What is the purpose of Maven here, guys? What is the purpose of Maven? Maven is a build tool which will compile and package our Java application either as a jar file or war file. Once project compilation and packaging got success, then we need to perform code review. To perform the code review, we are going to use a concept called SonarQube. We will use a concept called SonarQube. The next one, project will be packaged by using Docker. Docker image will be created. Then that Docker image will be deployed to Kubernetes. For example, we don't know Docker Kubernetes, leave it. Maven is available, SonarQube is available, and we are having Nexus repository. Initially, in the Maven, I explained remote repository. Which one we are using as a remote repository? Nexus we are going to use as a remote repository. First, developer will write the code. Developer will push the code to GitHub repository. Once the developer code push to GitHub, Jenkins tool will be available. That Jenkins tool will take the code from the GitHub. Then it will interact with Maven to build that code. Jenkins will integrated with the Maven to build that code. Then Jenkins will be integrated with the Sonar Cube to perform the code review. Jenkins will be integrated with Nexus repository to upload our jar file, war file for future purpose. Backup will be available. Our project jar or war will be uploaded to Nexus repository for backup purpose. Once it is done, we are going to run our jar file or war file by using Tomcat server. Tomcat is a web server which is used to run our Java web applications. This is Jenkins will communicate with the Tomcat and will deploy our application into Tomcat server. Then here if you see, Jenkins will connect with the GitHub, Jenkins will connect with the Maven, will connect with the Sonar, will connect with the Nexus, will connect with the Tomcat to perform build and deployment. Here if you observe, Maven will be used for build purpose. Project compilation will happen. Sonar Cube will be used for code review. Now, Nexus repository, artifact backup, jar or war will be available as a backup. Tomcat server, this is a web server to run our application. Who will do all these activities? Jenkins tool is going to do all these activities. Earlier, people used to perform this build plus a deployment manually. Now, everything is automated in the industry. By using Jenkins, we are going to perform all these activities. To perform all these operations, DevOps people will create CI/CD pipelines. DevOps people will create CI/CD pipeline. What is CI/CD pipeline? Continuous integration and continuous deployment. Whenever you commit some code, whenever you modify some code in the GitHub, immediately Jenkins pipeline will trigger. It will take the code from the GitHub. It will give to Maven, compile, package. Then it will talk to Sonar, perform the code review. Then upload the artifact into Nexus. Then deploy the application to Tomcat server. This is the process. Okay. In order to perform this complete build and deployment, assume that it is taking 1 hour time. Assume that to perform all these operations, it is taking 1 hour time. Now, in my project, I have hard-coded a message. In my project, I have hard-coded a message. Now, I want to change this message. So currently, welcome to Ashok IT is available. I want to say, welcome to Java. I want to change my message. If I change that message in my local system, dev tools available, server will restart, that is fine. But in the real time, dev tools will not be available. Whenever you modify the code, how much time it will take to deploy the latest code in the server? 1 hour of time it is going to take. Getting my point? Don't think about only our system, dev tools. When I change the code, within fraction of seconds, my server is getting restarted. But in the real time, when you make a small change in the code, this complete build and deployment process should happen. To complete that build and deployment process, it will take how much time? Assume that it is taking 1 hour of time. Now tell me, is it recommended to hard code our data like this in the Java program? Is it recommended to hard code our message in the Java program like this, or it is not recommended to hard code? It is not recommended to hard code our messages in the Java program. The reason is, whenever you hard code the message in the Java program, if you want to change that message, you need to compile the whole project, you need to package the whole project, you need to deploy the whole project. That will take a lot of time. That will take a lot of time. So that's why in the real time, we should avoid hard coding of our messages. If you see in our project also, in the mini projects also, at several places, we have hard coded our messages. Now you see here, success message is available, account created, check your email, choose unique email. This is a message, success message available, error message available. What I have done for success messages and error messages, I have hard coded them in the Java program. What is the problem? If I hard code them in the Java program like this, if I want to make any change, then I need to compile the whole project. I need to package the whole project. I need to deploy the whole project. It will take 1 hour of time. Are you guys getting my point? We should avoid hard coding of our messages in the project. What we need to do is, we need to keep our application messages either in the properties file or in the YML file. We should avoid hard coding of the messages from the Java program. We need to read the messages from either properties file or from the YML file. That is the industry standard. Even in my project also, we will never hard code any properties in the Java program. Whatever the messages we need, we are going to read from properties file or from the YML file. Now you see, I have created one simple REST API. In my REST API, I have two methods. One is get welcome message. Another one is greet message. Message is hard coded here. I want to read that message from the properties file. I want to read that message from the properties file. Guys, observe. I will show you how to deal with the properties, how to deal with the YML, and how people will do that in the real time. That is the important part. Okay. First, let me go for properties file. So here I have application.properties file. I will specify welcome message equal to welcome to Ashok IT. Something like this. This is a property file data. Similarly, I will specify greet message is equal to good morning. These are predefined keys in the Spring Boot. These are user-defined keys in the Spring Boot. User-defined keys. Welcome message. You can keep anything. You can keep anything. So anything. This is a key and this is value. Now, to read that data, I'm going to take one variable. Private string welcome message. Private string welcome message. And next one, private string greet message. Okay, variable name can be anything. I can keep it as W message and I can greet message, something like this. Variable name can be anything. Now what I will write here, return welcome message. And here I'm writing return greet message. That's it. Am I hard coding the messages or I'm not hard coding the messages? I'm not hard coding. Where my messages available? They are available in the properties file. My REST controller should understand that this variable should get the value from this key. Okay, guys. And here this variable should get the value from this key. How to read the data from the properties file to our variable? How to read the data from properties file to our variable? To do that, we are going to use one annotation that is called @value. What is the annotation, guys? @value. So here, value annotation available in the Lombok and in the Spring. Which one we need to use? Spring annotation we need to use. So let me go here. @value from the Spring. What is the key? Dollar of key name. What is the key name? Welcome message is available. Welcome message is available. Then let me go for this one. @value dollar of this key will be available, which is greet message. Which is greet message. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that, guys? This key is available in the properties file. This key available in the properties file. That key having some value. What is the meaning of @value? You go to the properties file, you identify this key, you get the value of that key, you store into this variable. Here also, go to the properties file, check for this key, get the value, store that value into this variable. Now I am returning that variable. Okay, let us see this. Save this, refresh the project, Maven update, Maven update the project, force update. Good. Updating is completed. Refresh that. Now, right click, run as boot application. Application started. Check it. Tomcat server started with the port number 8080. Clear the console. Go to browser. Now, send the request again. Localhost colon 8080/welcome. Am I able to get the value? Yes, that value is hard coded in my REST controller, or it is not hard coded in the REST controller. It is not hard coded in the REST controller. It is coming dynamically from the properties file. Now let's go here. Localhost colon 8080/greet. Same thing. I'm able to get the two properties from my properties file. Application at properties, key value, key value. Tell me, what is the purpose of @value annotation? What is the purpose of @value annotation? @value is used to load the property from the properties file based on the given key. For example, I am giving the key as a message. For example, I am giving the key as a message. Do we have any key with that name? Do we have any key with that name? No, we don't have any key with that name. Then run this project. Error. What happened? Could not resolve the placeholder message in the value $message. Boss, you are using @value. So whenever the project is starting, then only it is verifying whatever the value variables are available. What is the key available? Do we have that key in the properties file? Not available. So application failed to start. Application failed to start. @value. For @value, what are the attributes available? No attribute is available. Directly you need to specify key name. What is our key name? Welcome message is the key. Perfect. Now refresh, run this application, clear the console, run the project. Run the project. Right, greet. We are able to read the messages from properties file. /welcome, welcome to Ashok IT is coming. /greet, good morning is also coming for that. Good. So we are having two keys and we are able to read them. For example, in my project, 100 messages are available. In the real-time project, 100 messages are available. Login success, registration success, invalid credential, registration failed, duplicate email ID, inquiry added, inquiry updated, inquiry deleted. Okay, new user added, user updated, user deleted, email sent successfully, forgot password, recover email. Like that, there are so many messages are available in my application. So for all the messages, are you going to declare 100 variables like this? If I have 100 messages in the project, are we going to declare 100 variables like this? Is it recommended or it is not recommended? Recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. Why? Projects may contain 100 messages. Project, if it is a monolith project, there can be 1000 messages also. If it is a monolith application, what is monolith application? All the functionalities will be available in the single project. If it is a monolith application, then 100,000s of messages will be available. If 1000 messages available in the properties file like this, are you going to declare 1000 variables? Are you going to declare 1000 variables? Recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. When to go for @value? If you want to read one or two properties from the properties file, then we can go for @value annotation. But in the real time, our project will contain several messages hundreds, thousands of messages will be available, which I don't want to hard code in the Java. And now observe, messages are hard coded in the Java. Messages are available in the properties file. Messages are available in the properties file. Tomorrow, when I want to change my message, do I need to compile the Java program? Do I need to compile the Java program? No, we just need to restart the server because properties file got changed. When the properties file got changed, we just need to restart the server. Why we need to restart the server? To load the latest properties. How much time it will take to restart the server? 30 seconds maximum. It will take only 30 seconds maximum to restart the server. What about compiling the project and packaging the project? It will take a lot of time. So if you hard code the messages in the Java program, you need to compile the project and you need to redeploy the entire application. But if you change only properties file, you just need to restart your server. You just need to restart your server. Recompile, repackage, redeploy is easy. Restarting the server is easy. Restarting the server is easy. So that's why we should never hard code any message in the Java program. If you hard code any message in the Java program, it will take a lot of time to recompile, repackage, redeploy the project. That's why in real time, in every project, properties will be stored in the properties file or YML because of easy maintenance. Maintenance will become easy. Tomorrow I want to change a property. I no need to compile the project. I no need to redeploy the entire project. Just to change the property, restart the server. Server restart will happen very quickly. Just stop and start the server. That's it. So that's why we should keep our properties in the properties file. How to read the properties data from properties file to Java program? @value. In which scenario we need to go for @value? Come on. If you are having only 1 or 2 properties below 5, if you have below 5 properties, then you can declare 5 variables and you can read them. Suppose if I have 100 properties, is it recommended or not recommended? It is not recommended. Now, what we do is in the real time projects, what we will do? So this is our application, guys. Assume that this is our Spring Boot application. In this Spring Boot application, there is a YML file. That is our application.yml. Nowadays, people are not using properties. People are going for YML. This is my application.yml file. In this YML file, our messages will be configured. Whatever the messages we want to use in the project, we are going to configure them in the application.yml file. Clear? Now here my Java programs are available. REST controller 1, REST controller 2, REST controller 3. Multiple Java classes are available. I want the messages in all the Java classes. For example, this is controller 1, and this is controller 2, and this is controller 3. Controller 1, controller 2, and controller 3. C1, C2, C3. All these 3 controllers requires these messages. Now, if you want to deal with the value annotation, there are 100 messages available. 30 messages I want in one class, 30 messages I want in the second class, all the 100 messages I want in the third class. How many places you need to declare the variables? How many places you need to declare the variables? In all the 3 places, right? Is it recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. For that, what I will do is, I will create one Java class. Guys, observe. I will create one Java class. I will name this class as app properties. Already we know app constants. This is the next level. We are going for app properties. In the app properties, I'm going to create one map. In the Java, we have a map concept. What is the purpose of a map concept? Which is used to store the data in the form of key and value. Now, I will create one app properties class. In that class, I will create one map object. Whatever the data that is available in the YML, key value will be there. I will store that data into my map object. I will read the data from the YML. I will give to the properties class. In the properties class, I have a map object. In that map object, I will store all the keys and values. Now, wherever I need the messages, I will inject app properties class object into those controller classes. Are you guys clear? Earlier, we are having properties file, key value. Wherever I need these values, I'm taking @value annotation. Suppose I want the same value in the other class also. I need to declare the same variable again. I have 10 properties. 10 properties I want in the 10 classes. 10 into 10, 100 variables I need to declare. Is that recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. Declaring the same variables in the multiple classes is not recommended. What is the recommended approach? The recommended approach, whatever the messages you want to represent in your project, whatever the messages that you want in your project, keep those messages in the YML file. Key value will be available. You read the data from the YML, you store into one map. That map will be available in a class that is called app properties class will be available. Wherever you need those messages, you get it from the properties class. YML data will be stored into properties class. Wherever you need the messages, you get it from the properties class. Are you guys clear with my point? Right, observe the diagram. We need to implement that logic now. That is what happening in the real time. In every project, people will configure the messages in the YML. From the YML, they will load into properties class. Properties class, they will use in the classes wherever we need the messages. Manikanta, come here. April month lo least attendance evarukunda last 10 names ivu naku takku attendance unnaru month of April. All right, guys, see here we are trying to understand how to deal with the properties, in our Java application. If you declare the messages directly in the program, then that is called as hard coding. What is the problem with the hard coding? What is the problem with the hard coding? Yes, if you change something, if you change some message, then you need to recompile, repackage, and you need to redeploy the entire application. It will take a lot of time. Then how to avoid that problem? How to avoid that problem? By using properties file or YML. I will configure the properties in the properties file or in the YML file. How to read the data from the properties file? By using @value. But what is the problem with @value? Every time we need to declare the variable. So here message controller available. If I create one more controller in my project, that is a demo controller, then what is the problem? If I create one more demo controller, in the demo controller also I want the messages, then what I need to do? I need to declare variables again. If I have 10 classes like this, in the 10 places I have to declare the same variables. Recommended or not recommended? That will become duplicate code. That will become duplicate code. We should not write the duplicate code. So to avoid this problem, what we do is, whatever the messages we want to use in our application, Those messages will configure in the YML file. From the YML file, we will read the data and store into one map. What is the map in the Java? What is the map in the Java? Map is used to store the data in the form of key and value. It is used to store the data in the form of key and value. That map I will create in the class called app properties class. Now, my controllers are available. Wherever you need the message, that properties class object I will inject and I will get the data from the map. Clear, guys? Yes. Now let us see. Let me delete this properties file. I don't need that. I will go for YML file, guys. Let me delete all these things also. @value and all, I don't need it. Okay. Yes. In this application, I'm going to create one file, new other file. I will create the file with a name called application.yml. Application.yml. Any data available in the YML now? No. I will specify app colon. You can give any name for that. App colon, messages colon, app colon, message colon. Now I will specify welcome message, that is welcome to Ashok IT. And I will specify greet welcome message. Welcome message and greet message. I will specify good morning. Something like this. So here I declared a app and here messages, and this is one message and this is another message. So inside the app, messages available. Inside the messages, key and values are available. So as per Java concept, can I call this is one key value pair? Can I call this is one key value pair? Yes, nothing but this is called one entry. This is called as one entry. Can I call this also as one entry? This is also one entry. There are two entries available in the map. Can I call this as my map name? Can I call this as my map name? Messages is a map. In that messages, two entries are available. These messages are belongs to my application. In the project, I can declare something like this. Server.port is equal to 9090, and I will specify spring.application.name is equal to something like this, Ashok IT REST API. Okay, so these are predefined properties. These are user defined properties. So from where my user defined properties are starting, I'm giving the name as app messages. Okay, so here if I don't give the app like this, I cannot understand from where my properties are starting. So this is Spring Boot property, server port. This is also Spring Boot property. This is my property. I need to differentiate what are predefined properties available and what are user defined properties are available. Got my point? So these are predefined properties. These are user defined properties. In the user defined properties, app is the starting point for my messages. App is the starting point for my messages. Messages is my map. In that map, two entries are available. Online people, are you able to follow me? Right. App is the starting point for my application messages. Messages is the name of my map. In that map, there are two entries available. Now let us see how I am going to read that. Let me create one Java class with a name called app properties. Okay, I'm keeping that inside a package called props package. App properties is available. I want to tell the Spring Boot, hey Spring Boot, you read the data from the YML. Wherever app is starting, you read all the messages, you store into my class object in the map format. Okay, for that we are going to specify enable configuration properties. This class is used to represent configuration properties of our application. That is the reason I'm giving the class name as app properties. What is this annotation? Enable configuration properties. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? It is used to read the configuration properties and represent the configuration properties. Okay, in the configuration properties, there are predefined properties available and there are user defined properties also available. There are predefined properties available and there are user defined properties also available. How to deal with that? How to deal with that? Come on. How to deal with that? There are user defined properties available and there are predefined properties available. Do I need to read everything available in the YML or I need to read only user defined properties from the YML? I need to read only because server port, application name, I no need to do anything in my program. My program requires only user defined properties. How to tell the Spring Boot read only user defined properties? App is the starting point. Are you guys able to follow me? Last row. These many chairs are empty. Why are you sitting there? Come front. What you will see? Already you have 4 eyes. Right. So here I'm creating one class with a name called app properties. For the app properties, I'm writing one annotation, enable configuration properties. It is used to represent that this class is used to read the properties available in the YML file or properties file. But there is a small problem. The problem is in that YML, there are some predefined properties available. There are some user defined properties available. Now, my application, my code, my REST controller want server port number. Do I need that port number in my program? Do I need the application name in my program? I don't need. What I need? Only these messages I need. Okay. How to inform the Spring Boot? Hey Spring Boot, give me only the messages of my application. I don't want these properties. So to represent that, we are going to use one more annotation that is called configuration properties. Configuration properties prefix is equal to app. Configuration properties prefix is equal to app. What is the meaning of prefix is equal to app? In the YML, wherever app is starting, you read from there only. You read from there only. Don't read these things. You read from app. Inside the app, what is there? Messages available. Inside the messages, what is there? Entries are available. Okay. So read the messages and store that messages into one variable, that is private map. Key is a string, value is also a string. I will declare that messages is equal to new hash map. Messages is equal to new hash map. This is a Java class I'm using for the configuration purpose. So I'm writing at the rate configuration. For these messages, I want a setters and getters. For that, I will go for at the rate data. Are you guys clear? Now, what is the purpose of at the rate data? What is the purpose of at the rate data? That is used to generate the setters and getters for the variables. How many variables available in my class? One variable. What is that? Messages. Remember, whatever you are writing with the same name, you need to create the variable. Then only it will load this data, will store into this variable map. Okay. Suppose if I give here as props, my application properties, then what should be my map name? My map name also should be props. Then only it will store the data into our map object. Clear? If I am using messages here, then my map name should be also messages only. As I am using @ data for this variable, setter will be generated and getter also will be generated. Okay. Now this is @configuration. I can use @component also. Anything is fine. Now my REST controller is available. Remove these variables now. In my REST controller, I want to use the properties. Properties is a class. In that class, map is available. I want to get the map. Directly can I access the map? No. It is a private variable. What I need to do? I need to call the getter method. Already @data setter getter is available. Inject that variable. Private app properties. Private app properties. I'm going for app props. App props. Let me go for @auto void. Now, whatever the app properties I need to get, then what I will do? App properties dot get messages. What is the meaning of app properties dot get messages? What is the return type of that method? What is the return type of that method, guys? It will give the string map messages available na setters and getter. Get messages. You will get a map. Now you got the messages. Messages dot get of key. What is your key? What is your key here? Welcome message is my key. Welcome message is my key. Return that. Return that. See here. I have my YML. I have my YML. In that YML, I'm declaring my app properties. I want to load the properties from the YML to properties class. Inside the properties class, I declared one map. Whatever the name available for the map, here the map name should be same. So in the properties class, I'm using @data. What is the purpose of that? Suppose if I don't use it, then I need to generate setters and getters for this. Set messages, get messages. I have a variable. For this variable, I need to go for set messages and I need to go for get messages. Now, what is the meaning of set messages? To store the data into this variable. What is the meaning of get messages? To get the map object. Now, in my REST controller, I need the messages. How I am dealing with the messages? Can you check it now? How I am dealing with the messages? I'm injecting app properties class object into my REST controller. What is app properties class? Which contains application messages. From where application messages are coming? From the YML file, they are coming and storing into properties class object variable. I injected properties class, properties dot get messages. What is the meaning of properties dot get messages? Get all the messages which are available in the map. Once you have the map, can you get the value based on the key? Map dot get of key, it will give the value. Now let's try this. Run this application. If it is working, then we are good. Maven, update the project, force update, refresh the project. Yes, run as boot application. Application started. Running on the port number 9090, localhost colon 9090/welcome. Am I getting that message? Am I getting that message or not? I'm getting the message as welcome to Ashok IT. If you see this program, do I have any message here? Do I have any message here? From where I am getting the message? From app properties. App properties dot get messages. Where the messages are coming to the app, from where the messages coming to app properties? From the YML. This is the properties class that will be there in every project in the real time. Properties class is available, which will read the data from the YML, store into map object. Wherever you need that map object, you inject the properties class and you get the messages. You get that based on the key. Can I reduce the code to single line? Can I reduce the code to the single line? Yes or no? What I am doing here? App properties dot get message. Then what I am doing? Storing into the map object. Then I am calling map dot get. Can I write this line here itself? Yes or no? Yes, I am directly writing that. Then I will go for return. Completed. App properties dot get messages dot get of key. In the single line, I'm able to get the messages from the properties object. From the messages, I'm getting the value based on the key and I'm returning that. Within single line, I'm able to complete that. Clear? Look at this. Now, let me change this YML. Welcome to JRTP. Okay. Let me stop the server and run it again. My message is available in the YML. Now, application started, clear the console, go here, /welcome. What happened? We are able to get the message, welcome to JRTP. Where is that message available? In the YML. Am I declaring any variable with @ value? No. Why? When to go for @ value? When to go for @ value? When you have 1 or 2 variables, less than 5 variables too. If you have only 5 properties to read in your application. When you have only 5 properties to read in your application, then you can declare 5 variables, then you can go for @ value. But if you have 50 properties, 100 properties, this is the approach. You need to declare them in a YML file and you need to create one properties class like this. What is the purpose of this properties class, guys? What is the purpose of this properties class? This properties class is used to read the data from the YML, store into map object. Then wherever you need the properties, you inject this class object and you get the messages. Messages will be available in the which format? Messages will be available in the which format? It is available in the key value format. Messages will be available in the key value. In my REST controller, I need the message. I injected properties class object by using auto wiring. What is auto wiring? Injecting one class object into another class object is called as auto wiring. I got the properties. Inside the properties, I have a map object. In that map object, my messages will be available. So I'm doing properties.get message. What will give you when I call get message? Complete map it will give me with all the keys and values. From that, I want a value of a particular key. Then I will go for map.get of key. I will get that value. Now, similarly, if I want to get the greet message, then public string get greet message. Okay. So what I will do? Return app properties dot get messages. What is the return type of get messages method? Map object. In that map, key value will be available. I know the key. How to get the value? By using dot get of key. What is my key? Greet message is my key. Map dot get of key. What is that key? Key is greet message. That's it. It is going to return that value. Map that to a URL pattern. @get mapping. Let me go for /greet. Let me go for /greet. Fine. @welcome. /welcome is a method which is getting the welcome message from the map. And @greet method is available that is getting greet message from the map. Run the application. Clear the console. Localhost :9090 /welcome. It is working. Localhost :9090 /greet. We are able to get that. And next here, keys are string literals. Keys are string literals. So is it recommended to write the string literal like this? No. For that, we will create the constants class. Got my point? So to remove this hard-coded key, we are going to create a constants class. Now let me create one class with a name called app constants. Class app constants. This is what completely we are going to do in the project. Keys we are going to declare in the constants class. Values we will declare in the YML file. Now go for app constants class. Okay. Public, static, final, string, greet message, key. Greet message key. What is that key now? Greet message. Okay. Similarly, public, static, final, string, welcome message key is equal to welcome message. So keys I have declared in the constants class as a public variable. Wherever I want to use this key, I will use this variable. Wherever I want to use this key, I will use this variable. Now go to REST controller. Key is available. How to take that key now? App constants dot greet message key. App constants dot greet message key I am using. Okay. Similarly here, welcome messages available dot get off. Instead of hard coding the key, then I will go for app constants dot welcome message key. This is 100% real-time REST API now. Whatever the messages I want, those messages I'm keeping in the YML file. Those messages I'm reading by using my properties class. Messages I'm reading by using properties class. Wherever I need the properties, I'm injecting that properties class into my REST controller. Now, in the project, suppose there are 100 REST controllers available. I want messages. Do I need to declare the variables or I need to inject only properties class? Controller 1, controller 2, controller 3. Wherever you need the messages, you just need to inject your properties class. Manikanta, yeah, give me the list. Right. Controller 1, controller 2, controller 3 is available. There are 3 REST controllers available. In which REST controllers I want to use the properties, I will inject that properties class object into those controllers. Wherever I need the messages, I will inject that properties class object into those messages. Got my point? Good. Controller 1, controller 2, controller 3. Wherever I need the messages, I will inject into properties class object. Perfect. So app properties dot get messages dot get off. App constants dot greet message key. What is this greet message key? What is this greet message key? Come on. It is a string literal. Why I am declaring a constant for that? Why I am declaring a constant for that? I don't want to hard code the string literal. That's why I'm declaring that. Now, okay, let's run this application, run as boot application, clear the console. Application started 9090/greet. We are getting the message 9090/welcome. We are getting the message like this. From now onwards, whatever the API we are going to develop, in that API, whatever the messages we want to use, you need to declare them in a YML file like this. And in every project, you need to create one properties class like this. Okay. In this properties class, I'm writing prefix. What is the meaning of a prefix? What is the meaning of prefix? That is used to represent from where it has to read the messages. That is used to represent from where it has to read the messages. Then what is the purpose of constants? What is the purpose of constants? What is the purpose of constants? To avoid hard-coded string literals, I'm going to use this constants. To avoid the hard-coded literals, I'm going to use this constants, right? So app messages dot get off key. Key is declared in the constants class. Key declared in the constants class. Good. Look at the YML first. Guys, I want everybody to practice this concept today. I want everybody to practice this concept. When I am explaining the mini project, I have not done this because you will get confused. You need to first focus on the coding part. Now we are understanding the best practices. Development is completed for the mini project. We have done the code review. What we learned in the code review? What are the mistakes we are doing? Next time we should not repeat those mistakes. Okay, those things should be there in your brain. And we have hard coded the messages in the project. What is the problem if I hard code the messages in the project? If I want to change any property, I need to recompile and redeploy the entire application. So to avoid those properties, what we will do? We'll configure them in the properties file or YML file. How to read a property from the properties file or YML file? @value. When to go for @value? When you have only one variable to read it. If I have 100 variables to read it, go for properties class. Go for properties class. Good. Properties class available, constants class is available. What is the purpose of constants class in the project? To declare string literals that I want to use in the project. Got it? Fine. Good. Offline people, anybody having any question on this? Warning. They are telling that whenever you are adding the configuration properties, they are asking to add one dependency in the pom.xml. That is configuration properties dependency. Configuration properties processor. That is optional dependency. They are telling to add this dependency. Just if you click on that, it will be automatically added. If I remove it, click on this, suggestion is coming directly. If you click on it, that dependency will be added in the pom.xml. What is that? Configuration processor. It is used to load the data from properties file or YML file to our Java class. Even if you don't write it, automatically it will happen. Okay, good. Look at the YML first. This is my YML. This YML data we are reading and we are storing into properties class. That properties class object I'm injecting into my controller. In the controller, I'm getting the properties and I'm getting the messages. From that, I'm getting the value. Okay. So this, I will give you this code. Let me do that in the GitHub repository. Instead of giving the code, let me create one repository in the GitHub. Let me add it. Yes, configuration properties, not this. Yeah, done guys. I pushed my project into GitHub repository. So if you go to my GitHub account, Ashok IT School GitHub account, if you go to the repositories, you can see Spring Boot app properties repository available. In that repository, project is there. Online people, I'm giving the repository URL in the chat box. You can post in our WhatsApp group. Okay. I gave the repository URL in the chat box. You can click on that link. You can copy that link. You can post in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Fine. Good. Any questions, anyone on this? Yeah, next one, our superheroes. First, our class topper, Chinta Ishwar Rao. Who is that? Chinta Ishwar Rao. He presented only for 3 classes. In the month of April, out of 25, he attended only 3 classes. Chinta Ishwar Rao. I think is available here or not available? Not available. I will remove this name from the list of placements if you don't respond. Okay. Next one. You are not eligible for any drive. Chinta Ishwar. Manas Ranjan Das. Who is that guy? Manas Ranjan Das. Ghar chale gaya. Very good. He also present for only 3 days. Anish Kumar Yadan. Anish Kumar. Only 4 classes. Prasanna Kumari. Lady. He left. She left. Okay. Sheikh Ahmad. Only 3 classes. Arif Basha. Arif Basha. No. Only 1 class. Muhammad Azhar. Muhammad Azhar. No. R. Srikanth. R. Srikanth. Not available. Not available or not responding? Deepak. Who is Deepak? No. Abhijit Tripathi. Abhijit Tripathi. Tripathi is there. Tiwari Tripathi. Tripathi is also there, na? Abhijit Tripathi. Subham Tripathi, he is different. Abhijit Tripathi. He present only for 6 classes. Nobody present in the class. This is April attendance. Then I need to figure out next 10. Manikanta. ఈ 10 people ఎవరు లేరు. నెక్స్ట్ 10 లీస్ట్ అటెండెన్స్ తీసుకో త్వరగా. షార్ట్ చేయి, ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ ని షార్ట్ చేయి. వంశీ, షార్ట్ దట్ ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ అటెండెన్స్ లిస్ట్. షార్ట్ దట్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద number of people presented. Guys, you realize that in this list maybe some people are for full stack people. Tomorrow if they come and ask me, sir, where is my job? Then what I need to tell? Do you think that I am responsible for their job now? Do you think that I am responsible for their job now? Why? They are not even coming to the classes. How they will get the job? So you need to realize that. Meanwhile, online people, anybody having any questions, you can unmute your mic and you can ask me.
Hello,
Sir,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, my SonarCube is the server is running, but the plugin that I am installing that's showing an it's not compatible. Some kind
Yeah.
of error.
Tell me.
Hello,
Yes, sir. Tell me.
sir. The
Guys,
plugin I'm
sit down. Where are you going? Yeah, come back. Sonar
hello.
Cube.
Sir, the SonarCube that server is running, but the plugin that I'm using inside the pom.xml that you have provided that is showing an error when I put the command ambient sonar sonar.
I
It's
will check,
showing
sir.
that it is
Tomorrow I will take the doubts
incompatible.
clarification session. In that I will check that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Tomorrow I will
Hello.
check that issue.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Yesterday
Yeah. Hello.
yesterday you have taken microservices class, right? 5
Correct.
p.m.
Correct.
Yeah. Will you upload those videos in JRTP?
Yes, sir. If you are in the plan 2, you will get the backup video.
Yeah, but I haven't.
Yeah, we'll
seen
upload
yesterday.
that today, sir. Today we'll upload that video also into our JRTP folder.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Take care.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hello, sir. In every project, when I add the SQL, when we are using SQL database, MySQL database, okay, sir.
MySQL. In the real time, either Oracle or MySQL will be used. H2 is only for our practice purpose.
Yes, sir. But in my friend's laptop, when I are using this, one scope is there for runtime. When
Yes,
I add,
that
when
will
I
be
add
used.
this,
That dependency will be used only when your application is in the running mode. Maven
yes, sir.
scopes I already explained in the Maven classes, na?
Yes, sir. Actually, what happened on my friend's laptop, it's working, but in my laptop, it's not working. When I add that, it's showing me application failed, URL attribute error. When I remove
Yes, sir. I will check that issue. So tomorrow we have a doubts clarification session. I will check that. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Fine, guys. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in the tomorrow's class. Please practice the properties example.